What's up, guys? I'm Doofus Mcdooface. Me and Fluffy Stuff are putting together a sort of Legion focused podcast where we're going to talk about good things about the game, bad things about the game, the future of the game. And, well, the name is perfect. We want to call it just temporarily, maybe forever, the Scuffed Podcast, which makes perfect sense because the first recording was scuffed because it had no sound. So it went perfect. So Fluffy, how you doing, man? And you ready to talk about Legion again?
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down, man. I mean, it's just, it's gonna be a lot smoother. I think.
Yeah,
I
I
think we're
mean,
gonna do good.
all the ideas should flow. Our time, our pacing is going to be great, and we're going to make Legion great. That's what we're going to
Yeah.
do. So
Rename the podcast, make Legion great again.
make Legion, dude. I love that saying, but then sometimes I feel like whenever you say like make Legion great again, people are gonna be like, you're being political. But
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
but
no,
like
it'd be
it's
fun.
yeah, it's just funny to say make Legion great again. Maybe that will be the podcast name. But
Maybe.
uh yeah. So let's start with a positive. You're Mr. Negative Nancy most of the time. So I think it'd be right to have you start off with what's right with Legion. What's good with Legion right now?
I I think right now you're more beneficial to duoing.
Mm,
It used to be a solo climb. Like I think that it was more beneficial. Now you kind of have to duo.
yeah.
Like you're gonna have it's easy to grab a friend, say let's play a game, playing classic, grab three friends, grab whatever.
Yeah.
I think grabbing your friends and playing the game is more advantageous to you than ever. You
Yeah.
don't blow your mental up, you don't kill after one game. It's easier to play more than one game with a friend.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really go to the vent thing after playing with like Toho and Fluff, your buddies, and be like, this guy like threw the game. This guy's so like, I mean, it could happen, but it's a lot less likely where when you get a random, right? When you play the random person, and maybe you two don't have the best communication, send styles, building strategy, everything, right, is different. You can definitely get way more upset than when you're playing with friends. I mean, I totally agree with you.
Well,
I know Toho and Hop just keep hitting me up like they're like, hey, you want to do it? You want to do it? I don't think I ever see those two. Even Shay Moon hits me up to duo sometimes. Like
yeah.
they're always wanting to duo. Like there's certain people that just will not play the game solo, and like it's exactly as you described. It's more fun, better communication. Just everything is better outside of the duo penalty. But
Yeah,
who cares?
I mean, there's more upside to it. I mean, if you're gonna lose a game anyways, like, what's the difference of 5 or 6 elo?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like screw it. Grab your buddy, play your plus nines, play your plus tens instead of playing your plus 13s or 14s.
Yeah, and I think like for me, like when I first started, it was like, oh my god, I lost 20. Oh my god, I only got like 8 elo here, and
Yeah,
I'd pull out my elo calculator, I'd be calculating everything. But now I think it's just about enjoying the game and not getting like extremely tilted. And I think like you
yeah.
have way less chance to get extremely tilted if you're playing with a buddy. So yeah, I do think duoing is in a really solid spot right now.
Um, and another positive thing is,
Mhm.
I think the devs have really gotten more involved with the community.
Mm,
Um,
that's fair.
there's been a lot of good things. There's been a lot of good ideas. Like I know you love the final form
Yeah, yeah,
Oathbreaker thing.
yeah. That was
Like
yeah. I like that a
that's where
lot.
you were gonna go into um, and I think them just working with the community pretty much is helping improve the game in a sense of there's ideas that people that have that are a lot more fun.
Yeah,
Not everybody wants to be like, oh, this game is 100% serious, 100% that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, they also
um,
they did the Azeria change in Classic, right? A lot of the Classic gamers were complaining about the Azeria Steed build being way too strong in tower defense. So what did the devs do? They nerfed it, and then people still complain,
nerfed it
and they
again.
nerfed it again, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
at least they're listening to that. I think you were saying that they're thinking about like nerfing duo build or something. Did you say that or?
No, like getting rid of it.
Getting rid of duo build because people are complaining. Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, yeah.
I like duo build, but
Yeah.
Um,
And then
and then yeah,
so what
for me, what's right? I mean, you sort of pointed on it. Is I like the triple upgrade. Like new units, I think they're always keeping the game fresh. And yeah, Goblin Copter is really cool. It's gonna be funny. This is just a little aside. Um, Somebody keeps commenting that I need to cosplay as Shrek and win a game with Goblin Copter, and that
Yeah.
that idea wouldn't have come up. I think they're on like comment number 14 of 50. I said if I get to 50 comments, I do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't make it to 50. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so like if they didn't make the new unit, that silly comment wouldn't like have gotten started. And yeah, the Final Four Oath Breaker is like one of my favorite units
I
in the game right now. It's like I think it's a little overtuned, but it's so fun. The idea of a
I
triple upgrade is awesome
well, I
for
mean, you
all
have
units.
your tier ones, like the ones that do have the triple upgrades are just naturally stronger. I mean, like you said, you have Hellraiser,
Hellraiser,
you have
Sakura,
Final Form Oathbreaker,
yeah,
Sakura,
Sakura,
like all those units are strong and they're
super strong.
viable late.
Yeah, exactly. The
And
viability late, like you don't want to be that doofus that keeps two tier ones been there, and then in the late
yeah,
game you can't place them, right? Like there's no you placing tier ones for wave
dude,
20 or wave 18, 19
and
just doesn't make sense.
I mean, they could literally, like, this is just me throwing around idea. I mean, you know what Reapers are in StarCraft 2, right?
Yes.
Just third form of veteran,
Mm.
make it a Reaper. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it just jumps to the back line and kills the back line. So we have other options other than Serpent,
Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah. Jumps
where it
around.
jumps to the back line and just, well, it just jumps to the back line.
Hmm.
Like, that can be its ability. Kill the
Interesting.
Four Eyes, kill the Shaman. Like, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because we only have Sea Serpent, Deep Coiler, or like AoE, like Aquas, but that's not consistent. So
Yeah,
Sea Serpents and Deep Coilers are your only consistent backline killer. Yeah, that's an interesting
that'd
idea.
be super cool if they made like a Reaper just to leap over. It just says Reaper leaps over the Sin and attacks the back line.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a pretty cool idea actually. I like that. That's
yeah, yeah.
another new one. All right. Well, is there anything else that we want to say was right with Legion? Um,
Um,
like the
I think,
freshness, the duoing, you're saying the community, how they're at least listening. They're definitely listening to the community. Um,
yeah, I think they're just in a position where they kind of have to on that, but
yeah, yeah. With
we'll
the
touch on that later.
smaller game base, you have to listen. So what's wrong with Legion right now? What are we
I
feeling?
th- This goes back to what I was saying about grabbing a friend.
Mm,
Matchmaking is awful.
yeah, yeah, it
I
is.
don't, I never in a normal match feel like, man, that was a good game.
Hmm.
I've never felt that way in like a week or two.
Oh
Like
man.
it's been a while. And I'm just like, man, if you could just, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
find a way to fix it.
yeah,
They just,
and I think this sort of piggybacks. Like I think the reason that matchmaking is so scuffed is unfortunately because of the player base, right? Like our player base is so small right now, um, that either you have to keep playing with those guys that you really don't want to play with, or the reason you're getting matched with somebody who's way higher elo or way lower elo than you, and you're like, wait, why is this? Why is it me and a legend versus two reds? Like this is a lose lose situation. It's because there's not enough players. Like I know I'm barely like top 300, top 350 right now, and there's a lot of times where I have to wait 5 6 minutes. Now that might sound like annoying, like a spoiled brat type of thing, which I am, but when I first started playing, that didn't happen until I was like 27, 2650 elo. Like in the top 100, top 80, top 70. Did I have to wait long periods of time? Now it seems like I'm only like a semi-high player, like I'm a purple and I'm having to wait way longer than expected. Don't even get started on some of my buddies, Shadow, Shay. Those high-level gamers are waiting 30 minutes for a game.
yeah.
Like you even said something that like you'll log on and it'll say 400 players online and it makes you sad. And if the top
Yeah,
1%, right, top 1% is 4 players, right?
you're waiting.
You're waiting to play the other 2 players that are on, right? If those other 2
Yeah.
players are playing the red purple, who are number 5 and 6, well, you got to wait for their entire game to be done to play. And
Yep.
that's just not only it's a matchmaking and player base issue, which is just kind of unfortunate. Yeah, and we'll sort of highlight on how to improve that. But were there other things wrong with Legion? Uh,
Oh,
the, the
the fucking pathing.
yeah, the pathing right now is
I think what they thought they did was like good, and like I'm not trying to bash,
mhm,
but just revert it
yeah,
for the love of Christ. Like, what's stopping you? You know
yeah,
what I mean? They reverted wave 18 and 19 here recently. What's stopping them from wanting to revert? You know,
yeah. No, I'm with you
like
on that.
they got nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm really tired of hearing about pathing. It's
Well, and
it's
it happened. Well, here's the thing: it happens in your games.
yeah, a lot.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
Like
Why?
you
While
can't,
I
can't.
know, I was actually watching Don Daniels stream today. That guy is something else. He's hilarious. He's such a big tilter. Man, that guy is so funny. And it was wave 6. He received a Drake, a range send, and a snail. He had a Daphne on the left and a Ranger half a tile up on the right side. And you know exactly that Drake went not on the lifted split on the right. It went right on his Daphne, killed his Daphne. He was freaking out, saying the
Yep.
pathing is so scuffed. Like, this game is so stupid. And it's hilarious to watch. And then, like you
Yeah.
said, it happens in your games, and then you're that guy that's getting furious about this, going right to the venting, saying, "What is up with pathing?" Asking people, posting the screenshot. Should this build snipe a mimic? Should this build kill my Azeria instantly? Right? And it's really annoying to have to talk about like things RNG
Yeah.
based like that. And I think their pathing patch didn't help. It did not help some of those issues. It almost made them a little worse
It
currently.
made it worse.
Yeah.
I agree. It's made it worse. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I find it kind of strange that something as minor as maybe slowing the game down or speeding it up has done it to. It's done that to it. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, and that's a wild thing. I mean, I don't even I almost hate when people like bring up that when I would hold in the sandbox, right? Like I would leak in game and then I would hold in sandbox and people would be like, "Well, it's because you're only one player in there. You've got 4 players in a ranked game." Blah blah. And I hate hearing that. I don't know how to fix that. Of
Yeah.
course, I don't really have it, but like you're saying, sort of the speeding of the game, because I guess the game speed is like a percent difference or something in sandbox.
Yeah.
I think they
Yep.
tried to fix that recently. But yeah,
Yeah. It didn't.
hearing that is
Probably
just
didn't
like,
work.
ugh. Ugh.
Yeah. It's hard to hear.
Yeah. All right, what could be easily improved? What are little fixes we could make to the game?
I think fixing the tutorial.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Oh man, there's just nothing that goes right in the tutorial. I mean, it
So
doesn't teach you any of the basics. It doesn't teach you where to build, what to do. Like, literally just make a tutorial of, hey, send here, or hey, you gotta send, push now,
yeah,
type of thing. I mean, it could be basic stuff, nothing too advanced, obviously.
yeah.
But
So
like,
so
please just improve the tutorial.
yeah. So you're telling me that 3 minutes of tutorial is not enough?
Oh, no, of course not. No,
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 I know.
no.
Yeah, no.
Like we
Yeah,
all know it's not.
yeah,
But I mean just like and make it realistic.
yeah,
Like and when I say that, like don't tell people to build your Daphne all the way in the back with the tanks in the middle. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like that's not how higher elo builds. And I get they're just learning the game, but like you're not helping anybody teaching them to build incorrectly.
Yeah, no, and I mean, at the end of the day, like what we're trying to improve right here is that new player experience, right? Like the new player
Yeah.
experience needs to be good, right? When you first play the game and you do that tutorial and then you go right into a rank game and have no idea what you're doing, right? Or you go right
Yeah.
into the campaign and have no idea what you're doing. Well, that's not very fun, right? And I know a lot of people get upset. And sometimes, I mean, I don't know how many, there's been a couple of reviews where people literally say I played like 1 or 2 games and I rage quit because there's like, I don't know
They're
what I'm
dying
doing.
to the beginner bosses,
Yeah,
like the beginner
there's
things in the campaign. They should be beatable for newer
yeah,
players.
if you don't like go out and search how to get good at this game at the start, you just have such a bad taste in your mouth. Like so many people like coming into the stream, into my stream, and they'll be like, "Hey, I just got this game. How do I get good?" And the thing we always have to say is watch YouTube videos, watch streamers. It would be amazing if there was more of like an in-game presence that like actually like had
Taught them.
actually got to teach them at least a little bit. Like of course you're gonna have to play games. Of course you're gonna have to like watch the higher level gamers.
Dreams.
Yeah, to understand how to be better. But like the tutorial is definitely lacking. If we could like have a next level tutorial or like you were saying, like I think earlier you were saying like a set of 3 waves, right? Like, oh, you play 3 waves, this first wave, oh, you're going to receive this. What should you build? Oh, you're sending into this. What should you send? Right? And it sort of gives you the
Yeah.
option. As opposed to the tutorial now tells you, okay, place a ranger. Oh, send that. You don't really know what you're doing. You're just trying to get through the
Yeah.
tutorial so you can play the damn game.
Damn right.
But you have no idea what you're doing. Right? You really
Yep.
don't know what you're doing.
So the other thing I was talking about was like, cause we have like the weekly challenge, right?
Yeah.
I know how it's just like, hey, hold this. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
hold, put this in a position where you hold, and then you try to work your score down by removing units and placing them in like really weird spots where
Yeah.
you normally wouldn't place your units
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So like maybe they'll do like, hey, do a send to
Oh.
leak this.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so be
like
like,
a send challenge.
yeah, because like one
Oh.
of the biggest parts in the game is like, what do I send?
Yeah. How to
And
break
everybody
the
says,
opponent. Yeah.
yeah, and everybody says, oh, the safe sends like auras, and then you get like your pack sniped, or you get your mole sniped, and then your whole entire send gets scuffed, and maybe if you just sent a centaur, stuff like that. So maybe like, hey, here's this build on 14, you have 500 Mythium, leak it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of do the opposite because those challenges don't teach you how to build.
Yeah.
Um, they
Yeah.
make you do really obscure things that
Yeah.
aren't true.
Yeah, it works perfectly for that wave 12, but if that build continued to wave 13, 14, you're going to leak like
Yeah,
overvalue because you're trying to put
yeah,
in these wild spots. No, that's a great idea. I remember Toho had a little send challenge he was doing, and people would see like how high percent they could get, and then whoever
yeah.
got like the highest percent, like won some essence. No, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
So
because like sometimes people get like a crazy hold by luck. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
hmm
But
yeah, and that I mean like I see a lot of people like I think that there was one guy who was like only like 1800 elo, and he keeps winning the weekly challenge, right? So clearly people are putting a lot of hours into the weekly challenges. So like why not have 2 of them? That'd be pretty sick to have
yeah,
a send challenge and a hold challenge
yeah, it'd be a lot of
weekly.
fun.
Yeah. I mean I
I
could
I
see it.
think. I mean, it would give people more reason to play the game too. I mean, if that's what your goal is, like, hey, we want people to play more, like, give them more shit to do,
Yeah.
like, plain and simple.
And it would make players better, right? I mean not to take away from the weekly challenge now, but like some of the builds you do in order to hold are out they're outrageous. They're crazy builds. Whereas like a send
Yeah,
challenge, that will actually transition 100% to the game. Like that would 100% transition. Oh, this guy is Chieftain Cheese. He's got a bunch of lost pilgrims. Oh, who knew? Sending 2 Krakens was the best send possible. And then
yeah.
hopefully
Instead of saying like a 4 eyes with auras or something like
yeah,
that.
and then you would like be like, "Oh, next time I play, I'm gonna do this. That,
Yeah,
yeah,
because there's certain units you avoid on their strong waves, like LOD, you avoid it on 15 and 16. Just like 100%. That's by far that unit's strongest wave, right?
yeah,
And you're just like, oh, well, if my send gets big enough, I can send a Kraken, or I can send double Centaur with pack or something to help chop through the tanks to get to the LOD faster.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Just like a direct counter may not always be the play.
yeah,
So I mean, you could learn a lot.
yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think with what could be easily improved from my side, sort of just transitions into like our next question, which is like the drops and like visibility of those things. Um, yeah, I mean, I think we all know like that the drops during Nova Cup is it's the most viewers they get, right? That's the highest viewer count that they get on Twitch.
And
Um,
here, let's just transfer into the next question now. We're just gonna go right into the
yeah,
next
let's
question,
just go
which
right
is
into
just
it. Let's just go right into it. Like Nova Cup drops. Um,
streams.
I wish they could do it more often. I wish that they had drops on more often. I know that they did it that one time. I think it was last July, right? Last
Hmm.
July they had that big advertising push. Drops were on for almost a week. Even a new person could stream, right? Makia, right? He turned on his stream. He hadn't streamed before. That guy had 200, 300 viewers. Got affiliate in only a couple of days. And it's
Yep.
because the drops was on. People were watching Legion. People were and at the end of the day they were just getting orange essence, right? It's not premium essence. They were just getting orange essence, but it was enough to
Well,
bring them in to play the game and watch the
well, and
game.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, you don't have to do anything crazy. Like, every 200 drops, like, they do the roulette if somebody gets a free skin.
Yeah. Or
You know what I mean?
even
Like,
a free card. Like honestly, just anything will get people pumped. Like I'll be honest, when I first heard about the drops like last year, I had no idea so many people are gonna watch just for Orange Essence, right? Like it's Orange Essence. It's like half a card.
yeah,
But
yeah,
people get hyped. They get hyped. They see drops are turned on. I've got to watch my Legion TD2 streamers, right?
yep.
So that they were always checking it out. I don't know why they haven't put it on during the tournaments. Is it a money thing? Um, it would be great to
That's
know,
that's the only thing I can gather.
but like I feel like just starting with Nova Cup drops would be amazing, right? The main channel always has 500, 600, 700, 800 viewers. And I really think it's just because of the drops. And then you have like me with like 75, 80 viewers, the casters for D2, D3 with like 10 viewers. What would happen if all of us had drops turned on? Like I can't imagine that there would be a downside. I think if all of us had drops turned on, all of our views are going to go way higher. There'd be more of a reason to watch a Nova Cup D2 player. I know you love the D2, right? D3
Yeah, there's
even.
a lot. It's not even like it's just because it's not your typical gameplay.
Yeah, it's way
Like,
fresher.
And
It's
I'll just say
wild.
this: Doomsday is like one of my favorite people to watch.
Yeah, they do
Because a lot of
wild
their
stuff.
strategies, yeah, it doesn't work in D1 unfortunately, but they've won some crazy games in D2
Mhm.
just by like a full Suion 11 and the 12, or
Yeah.
crazy stuff that is not very conventional, and you get to see. It's so much fun. Like, I have a lot of fun watching those style games, to be honest.
Yeah, and nobody really gets to see that because everybody just goes to Division 1 either
Yep.
because that's just what maybe they're just they like Division 1 or maybe it's because they're the only place that has drops. I mean, I don't
Yep.
know how many Nova Cups that I've streamed and I get like 8, 9, 10 comments every Nova Cup. Doofus, why am I not getting drops? Doofus, do you have drops in here? And I have to look like a doof, look like an
Yeah.
idiot, and say,
You have to
no,
look like your
sorry.
name.
Yeah, exactly. No, sorry, that's only on the main channel.
Yep.
And then you put those people in an awkward position. Either they can
Because
watch,
now they have to leave you.
yeah, either they can watch me, the best streamer in the game, Doofus Mcdooface, winning a Nova Cup, and not get their drops, or they miss out watching my
Right.
gameplay to watch the
Yeah.
main guy just because they want to get their drops.
Yep.
So it kind of sucks that you're sort of making them choose. Like Nova Cup should be a time where you can watch everybody and have an equally fun time. But when you've
I
only got drops on the main channel, it kind of takes away from other divisions, other players,
yeah,
other streams. You know?
and I'll just flat out say it. D1's boring.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same 4 to 6 people that are in the finals every time. I mean, sometimes you get your minor upsets and it makes it a little more fun.
Yeah.
But then they just get squashed by the other person, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So like it's a little difficult to watch D1, but that's also why I was thinking about like me suggesting like switching up the format every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, you have your 2800 players playing with like a 2200 or 2K or something, and you kind of just get a little mix and match like that to just kind of, not every matchup then is favorable to a certain team.
Yeah.
Because that's what you just run into right now is that everybody, you know your matchups, you know what the teams are going to do.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that like burnt starves and all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, there's certain just people know play styles, but if you're playing a random purple, you don't know how they play. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
So
I think that one's a little crazy, but that does give me an idea, and it sort of continues me on like when I first started playing Legion. I think like just as I got right into it, there was a tournament that had it either had a developer like Jules or Lisk was on team with like a King Dan's with an Aviator, and they also had streamers. They had like a Maz. They had some other people, some other well-known streamers, and it wasn't Nova Cup. It was just some random tournament that they created, or they had exhibition matches. Where are those things? I would love to see more tournaments, more exhibition matches, more interaction with the developers to play the game, right? Like Shadow's always making these tournaments, making these playoffs, and it really doesn't get that much visibility. And I think that's because it needs to be shouted out. I think there should be an announcement about it. Um, and that would sort of push me off to the streams. I think there just needs to be a little more clarity, little more like an announcement, little bit of an improvement on visibility when somebody does like a different tournament thing or a different exhibition match. I know I keep going back to Shadowings, but like Shadowings has done how many? 5, 6 Shadow
yep,
Cups,
yep.
and he really doesn't want to do them anymore because they don't get any viewers. It's his own money he's putting on the line, and I think all you would need to do, all they would have to do, is on the Discord where they do their announcements for the patch. Just say, hey, Shadow Cup is this Saturday, blah 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 blah. I think that would help a
That
lot.
or just like there's an announcement in game.
Yeah, in-game announcement, right?
You know
Or
what I mean? Like there's nothing stopping that.
yeah, or in like the bottom left-hand corner where it says these are the streams on. I know the LTD2 channel when Nova Cup is going on, it's like highlighted, and it's like, ooh, this is the main channel. Like, could they do that? Maybe. Maybe they could do that for certain streams when you're actually doing like a tournament-based thing or a big exhibition playoff type match. Could they give the extra like, ooh, look at me, like almost saying like this is like a Legion like they don't have to pay for it, but like this is a Legion sponsored type thing. Like this is a main event
Yep.
of the game. I think that'd be really cool.
I totally agree with everything on that. Just because I mean, even way back when, before Shadow, we had the Steenie Cups
Mm.
before he passed away, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember everybody always talking about them, and they were always really competitive.
Yeah.
And it was Steenie's personal money.
Mm-hmm.
He was putting his own money out there to support the game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing stopping them. I mean, I'm not saying give people hundreds of dollars, but don't make it their own thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, hey, we'll give somebody 10,000 orange essence or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Or
it
like
may not mean anything to some bigger players, but I mean, to some smaller ones, it could.
yeah. Or like or visibility, right? Have both of those. Have a little bit more visibility. Make an announcement about it, right? Because let's be honest, like if it's just a little like a tournament announcement, not everybody sees that. But if you do that as like the main patch, like the Legion TD2 announcements, right? Everybody's gonna see that. Everybody's gonna see that. And then it'll be like, oh, you can't miss that Shadow Cup is going on next weekend. Or like you're saying, the actual in-game. the in-game announcements where they say, "Oh, the new patch is coming out. Legion TD2 Nova Cup is this weekend." Blah blah blah. Like, if there's nothing going on, couldn't they put like, "Oh, Shadow Cup this weekend. Oh, Doofus Cup this weekend." I
Yeah.
think just that little bit of visibility
I
would
I
be,
think you would get a lot more help from your streamers.
yeah,
They'd be more like, hey, like Toho's been talking about it these last few weeks. He's keeps saying I want to do classic tournament, I want
classic
to do classic
tournament. Yep.
tournament. But the thing is, you're gonna run into is nobody's gonna play it without any support backing it.
Yeah. Okay. This actually just something popped up in my mind. This is a brand new thought. I think I've talked about this before, or somebody has. They should have a sign up thing for Nova Cup or future tournaments, a sign up thing on the main page. Like talk about getting more players for Nova Cup if you had a link on their main page, like in between. You have like the five things like multiplayer, profile, blah, blah blah. You've got those things, and then there's one little brick, and then there's just empty space, and then there's streams at the bottom. Imagine if that little bit of space had a sign up for Nova Cup right here, and it took you to like a link, or it showed you how to sign up for Nova Cup. All right, like that they should be using like that extra space. I would say, at least.
Yeah.
Um,
You're saying to like kind of abuse the fact that they've been able to put announcements into their game.
yeah, like if you've already got your
Uh-huh.
patch notes on there, I would throw in another announcement. Like let people know what's going on. Let people know that Nova Cup is this weekend. That Shadow Cup is this weekend. Right.
Yep.
I think any more visibility, even for the people that are actually playing, would be really sweet. But that's just me. And
I agree.
yeah, I think that leads us into the future of Legion. What are you feeling about the future of Legion, Fluff?
Uh, I want to say it's. I mean, right now, I mean, I'm a negative Nancy, but it's not looking great.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think we're just kind of getting into like a little bit of laziness on the dev side. I think they've done a good job with like newer units, and I mean they did the final Oathbreaker thing. We've already kind of, tooted their horns on that, but
Yeah.
like other than that, like they're just reverting the game back to where it was a year ago if you really think about it, because those changes they initially made to wave 18 and 19 where it made them full AoE.
Hmm.
Now, if you look back at patch notes over a year ago, they've just reverted the waves back to what they were.
What they were. Yep.
So, I mean, that's just, to me, unfortunately, that's just laziness. There's not a whole lot of effort
Yeah,
into doing something different.
that's fair.
And I think it's kind of screwing a few people over, doing all sorts of stuff like that. And I think there's just different things they can do. And we've already talked about how they can improve the game and all that type of stuff. I don't want to sound like a broken record on that, but they're kind of stunting their own growth.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of things they can do better and kind of, work together with the community, maybe work with the Ninja Kiwi guys that they've.
Yep. Just got acquired by. Yep.
Yes. So I think there'd be a lot of good deals with that also. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna take a more positive spin. I think there's three things that could really help the future of Legion. The first one we've sort of already talked about it a little bit, but I mean I'm gonna keep pushing it. They need to do some type of advertising to increase the visibility of the game, right? We need more players, right? What was the problem with Legion? There's not enough players. Now, I don't have the golden ticket. I don't know how you improve your player base to get it bigger. Drops, that's one way to get more active players, active viewers, I would say. Um, but yeah, is it more paying streamers to play the game, advertising that way? Is it doing like the really cool thing? Oh man, what did they? I can't remember what it's called. It was they were on that thing where you could buy games for a month. What was that
oh,
called?
I can't remember
I
now.
can't remember, but yeah, where you buy
I
the,
know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
you get a 1 month pass of games, and they were on that pass, and the game the gameplay went up. It seemed like we had more new players because people bought the game pass for that thing. Like anything to increase people that play Legion. And then, if you, of
Yep.
course, improve the tutorial, things like that, you make these changes that make players want to play more, right? You have a better experience. I think
Yeah.
that's 100% how you improve player base. Another thing, me personally, I love. I know, and I talked about at the start. I love that Oathbreaker final form. I think doing a triple upgrade for every unit. I that's what I think they should do. I really think that they do,
Well, you
like,
mean every tier one, right?
honestly, like, at the
No,
end.
you're getting a
No,
little
no,
wild.
like,
You're getting a little
like,
wild.
of course this takes time, right? But in order to keep the game fresh for the eternity, I think you just keep giving every unit 3 upgrades. I think that'd be sick, right? Maybe T6s, maybe T5s is getting a little out of hand because they're too powerful,
Yeah.
and you
Well,
would
I
just,
mean,
like,
once you got to tier fours, it would be more cost efficient to just upgrade a tier four to its rank three
yeah.
instead of upgrading a tier five to its rank two.
Yeah, but I still think, at least let's just start with the T1s. I'll give you that. Let's just start with the T1s. Having each of those have a triple upgrade
Sure.
would just really make the game more
You're
fun.
going off the deep end there a little bit there. I had to
I
kind of
am.
cut you off, man.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think things like that are cool. Like, I think it mixes it up as
I
long
can't.
as it's well balanced, right? Like, I do think
Yeah,
the Oath.
it would be a really hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard
I
to
mean, you're
make it
already
balance.
complaining about the
Oathbreaker's
freaking
final
Oathbreaker
form,
thing. You got to think, how is everything else gonna be?
maybe a little overtuned, but I still think it's almost like a cheat way. Instead of creating new units, you just upgrade the already in place units.
I mean,
I
they
really
could
like that. But
They could make the mask a lot better because you got to think the mask is 80 gold cheaper, so it's just naturally a worse unit than the final form Oathbreaker.
that's fair. That's fair. But
So
Hellraiser
maybe
is
they,
still pretty strong.
well, yeah, but like just make it a 200. Like you should make them all like a 200 gold. I mean, obviously the rat, since it's only like a 75 gold unit, like maybe you make that
Yeah.
160
How cool would that be?
and
You get
like,
38 Mythium, right? You get more Mythium
yeah.
with the bigger rat.
Oh, that's no fun.
I don't know. I don't know. Something cool like that.
Yeah.
I think anything that makes the game more spicy, more flavorful is pretty cool. And the final thing I'm gonna say before we had to kill the VOD last time,
Yeah.
the ranked season is too damn long.
Oh, okay,
Everybody
yeah. Okay.
complains about this, and
You should have brought that up in the improvement thing. I
yeah,
think that would have been a good statement.
yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. I probably should have. Probably should have been the improvement. But yeah, I think they need to cut the seasons in half. I'm not one of these crazy guys who says 3 months. I'm not one of these crazy guys that says 2 months. I say you cut in half. You start with half a year, right? But a year-long season it's not working, right? It's making a lot of players not play very long. Um, it feels like the game gets stale. Like we're at what, May? This would be a perfect time to start thinking about the next season. For me
I
personally.
mean, I'd say break it up into quarters
Yeah, you
if
could
it
do
was me.
quarters too, but I'm always gonna be, I'm gonna try to be
Oh,
as nice as possible. Half
yeah.
a year would be a start for them, right? You start at 6 months, and then maybe
But
over
also
time it's 4
here,
months, 3 months.
also I can pile on this.
Yeah,
Also like have your soft resets be way less.
Mm.
Like, I mean, you have your 2,800 players, your 3K players going all the way down to like 2K.
yeah, and then you have just wild matches. Like that's exactly what's wrong with Legion. We talked about matchmaking. Every
Yeah.
time the new season starts, bam, that's a big issue you have.
It's like me and Hawken against like Shadow and Lucy. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
no,
Like it's awful.
yeah, King Dance is playing with somebody that's played like 50 games before. Like
Yeah.
the number one 3200 elo guy is playing with somebody that's highest elo last season was 1800.
Yep.
That's a bit of a range there on the reset.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're you are right. Their squish is a bit wild for sure. Um, but yeah, that's just another thing that I would love for them to iron out with a shorter season, because a year long, I don't think I've heard a single positive about the full year seasons. It's just
Yeah,
I actually don't
they're
know
not
any game.
anything great.
I don't actually know any other game like this that does a year-long season. I can't think of any game out there that I've played, at least personally, that has a year-long season. It's always 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. And honestly, I don't even think I've seen 6 months. A lot of it is 4 months. But yeah, I think those would be my 3 things to really improve the future of Legion. And I hope the future is good, because if Legion if the Legion future is good, helps me, helps us in terms of enjoyment. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to pile on there, Fluff?
I think that's a good spot. I think everything that we brought up was pretty valid
Yeah.
to this point.
Yeah, and so people in the comments, people let us know, like, just go question by question. If you guys want to be like Doofus #1 student, answer all these questions,
Yeah.
right? Like, what's right? Like this could be a survey, right? What's right? What's wrong? What could be improved? What do you think about the tournaments, and what do you think about the future of Legion, right? Like we're such a small community that we all have to work together to hopefully help the devs and keep Legion improving. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to keep playing this game. Like, most of us are obsessed with the game, right? Most of
Yes.
us,
Anybody still playing is obsessed with it. They
yeah,
have no other reason to be
yeah,
playing the
like
game.
probably every single person at one point has said, "I'm gonna stop playing this game," or was upset and said, "Okay, I'm gonna take some time off," and you always come back. It just happens. Like, there's a great thing about Legion, and it's addictive, right? One of the best things about Legion is how addictive it is, right? Like, you can talk trash on it, and you're still gonna hit that Q button. You're still gonna see me streaming it every Tuesday, Thursday, right?
Yep.
It's just how the way it is.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let's make Legion great again.